folks, I'm the Crypto Rocker, and this is the Crypto Rocker channel. And Bitcoin is going to shock the world. Let me tell you something, folks. I've been watching some videos here on YouTube about what's getting ready to happen with Bitcoin. And this one guy is talking about the basic principles of like supply and demand and stuff like that. Basically, the gist of it, there's going to be so much demand in the entire world for Bitcoin. Entire countries are going to want to buy hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin to have it on in their treasury for their country because it's digital gold. The biggest companies on the earth are going to want to have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. The biggest money managers are going to want to be selling Bitcoin to all of their customers so they can all have a little bit of Bitcoin in their portfolios. Not to mention all of the retail investors, all of the different institutions that are going to want Bitcoin, governments, Fortune 500 companies, institutions, not to mention the massive amount of retail. In other words, the demand for Bitcoin is about to go ballistic in this world, and the supply remains exactly the same. The supply cannot be inflated. They cannot turn on some kind of a Bitcoin printing machine and chill out a whole bunch more Bitcoins like they do with the US dollar. They can't do that. Bitcoin is finite. It's fixed. It's fixed. It's absolutely 100% fixed. And they say that the max supply of Bitcoin will be 21 million. But the truth of the matter is that there will never actually be 21 million Bitcoin. You may have heard the stories about Bitcoin being lost. People who used to mine Bitcoin on their computer and they threw their computer away. There's a story about a guy who threw away his computer somewhere in Chicago. It ended up in a landfill and it had something like, I don't know, a couple thousands of Bitcoins on there worth something like $700 million. And he's told the city of Chicago that if they can get out there and find this old computer of his, he'll give them half the money. Well, what are they going to do? You know, it's like, sorry, man, it's gone. You lost it. Then there's another guy who's got like he's got a ledger with something like $1 billion worth of Bitcoin on it. And he can't get to it because he can't remember his stupid password. It's this whole big phrase that you have to remember in order to break into your ledger to get what was on there. Well, he forgot it. And the reason that people were careless about it is because back years ago when before Bitcoin became worth a lot of money, people just were careless. They would, they had Bitcoin on their computer. They'd throw their computer away. Who cares? Whatever. They didn't know that it was going to become worth so much later on. And so all of that Bitcoin that's lost will never be found again. And they're estimating that something like possibly 1 to 2 million Bitcoin are lost forever, never to be recovered. So that leaves about 19 million Bitcoin existing supply. But even then, there's not that 19 million available because of the fact that Bitcoin is still being mined and there's still a lot of Bitcoin that has not yet been mined. And from what I understand, Bitcoin will continue to be mined for about the next 160 years. That the final Bitcoin will not be mined for like 150 or 160 years. So for the next 150 years or so, Bitcoin will continue to be mined, and every 4 years there'll be a halving, cutting in half the amount of Bitcoin that can be mined. So now think about that. You've got this supply of Bitcoin that's available. A massive portion of that Bitcoin that is available right now is being held by people like myself and others that are called hodlers, people who hodl. That means you hold on for dear life. You bought Bitcoin, you're holding it, you have no intention of selling it. And I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin. Even if it goes to $100,000 or $200,000, I'm not going to sell it. And I'll tell you why. And I wrote this This guy, Crypto Zombie, has got this video up here, and he's basically talking about how supply and demand is going to send Bitcoin to millions of dollars. The global demand for Bitcoin is going to go up. The supply is fixed. And if you know anything about supply and demand, when you've got demand skyrocketing and a limited supply of something, the price goes up. It's got nowhere to go but up. So Bitcoin is going to go to, first it's going to end up at six figures in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then it's going to end up at seven figures, and then it's going to go to eight figures eventually. It's not even a speculation. It's baked in. It's programmed into Bitcoin. As the demand goes up, where's the price going to go? I mean, come on. And this guy's talking about this, that if big governments buy in all of a sudden, if they make these surprise buy-ins of like $500 billion worth of Bitcoin, it's going to shock the market. He used this phrase is when that kind of thing happens, it just rips your face off. If you happen to be shorting the market at that time, you get your face ripped off. Okay, that's it. I mean, it's going to be insane. It's going to be crazy. So anyway, this whole video was going on, and I went ahead and said this. This is what I said. This is my comment that I made. I think that once the big money starts coming into Bitcoin, there will be massive selling by profit takers. And the big money will be right there willing to buy that Bitcoin at $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, and even $1 million. Because big money sees $1 million Bitcoin and below as rock bottom, bargain basement, dirt cheap Bitcoin. And that is the reality that's coming for Bitcoin. Under $1 million is dirt cheap. And people who take profits at anywhere under $1 million will be sick one day when Bitcoin holds an 8-figure valuation. And it's not just obvious, it's programmed into Bitcoin. It's supply and demand. Simple as that. Okay? Now, if the demand doesn't come in, if you don't get that kind of demand for Bitcoin, then maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Bitcoin will just kind of flounder around where it's at right now, and it'll just keep eking sideways, and, you know, all the markets will remain the same. The folks in Washington will fire up the printing presses again and start churning out $100 bills, and they'll start handing out the money and everything, and Bitcoin will just go from 40 to 50,000, then it'll come back down, and it'll go back up. Maybe that's what'll happen. Or maybe there's about to be a financial revolution in this world, and Bitcoin is going to end up shocking the entire world like no asset class has ever shocked the world before, and it's going to be the most amazing thing that you're ever going to see. It's going to be astounding that the demand for Bitcoin is going to skyrocket, and there's not going to be any Bitcoin available out there. Right now, I think there's something like 2 million Bitcoins that are available on exchanges that anybody can get on and just buy. Imagine what's going to happen when they all the big money decides at the same time, oh, we better get a hold of this Bitcoin. They're all going to be buying it up as fast as they can. Governments, the biggest companies, BlackRock, Fidelity, the biggest funds on earth. BlackRock controls $10 trillion with a T. $10 trillion. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's going to be like a bomb going off. You know what I mean? It's going to be amazing. It's going to be astounding. And the great thing about it is that this altcoin market is also going to benefit greatly from it. Because a rising tide lifts all the boats. It's going to lift Bitcoin up, and it's going to lift all the other little boats up to all the little cryptocurrencies. And I've likened the crypto market like a train. Think of the whole crypto market like a big, big, huge freight train. And Bitcoin is this big, huge, massive, powerful engine. And it's pulling the rest of the train with it. And all the cars that are on this train represent your altcoins. You got your Ethereum would be the second car, Litecoin, Solana, Cardano, you know, your HBAR, your Avalanche, your Dogecoin, Anchor, Scale, Shiba, and you know, you name it. Name them all. They're all in there somewhere. And they're all going to be being pulled along by Bitcoin. As Bitcoin goes up, you can get on CoinMarketCap. Did I say CoinMarketCap? CoinMarketCap right now and look at all of the different charts. You can line them up, all these different charts, and look how they all look the same. If Bitcoin has a spike up, they all do the same exact thing. And then if Bitcoin starts going down, they all start going down. Because everybody's watching what Bitcoin does, and they're all anticipating what the market is going to do, and they all do the same thing, and it all does the same thing. If there was any kind of delay, see, there's no real delay. It all happens at the same time. It's so fast that you couldn't. But sometimes there are, you know, like if you watch what one IRC 2022 token does, or what one decentralized protocol does, and then there's another coin that's very much like it that hasn't made a move yet, you can sell that coin, take all that money and put it into that other coin, and pretty much guarantee that pretty soon after that, that one's going to have a move up. This is one of the reasons why when these bull markets happen, people will see Bitcoin, it will go skyrocketing up, and then they'll take money out of Bitcoin and they'll put it into the altcoins, and then the altcoins start going up, and then they make a bunch of profits, and then they take the money back out of the altcoins, and then they hold it, maybe put it in USDC or something like some stable coin for a little while, and then they wait, and then they put it back in Bitcoin. Anyway, that's 10 minutes. I wanted to get on and talk about the Bitcoin market real quick because it's so much fun and I'm loving every minute of it. And my sleeve keeps hitting. Whoa, this is the Crypto Rocker. See you guys tomorrow.